Ladies, gentlemen, I have a digital watch saying that we are already 5 minutes late. So if we don't want to miss the reception after this conference, I propose that we readily start. So it is therefore my pleasure to welcome all of you at this kickoff conference of the UIC World Digital Platform. As you will agree with me, the anticipation of changes and the construction of the future of a sector are the first missions of any professional associations. We must place a prospective vision in the very core of our actions. As we are close to the real operations and also at the service of our members, we are in this privileged position to feel and to understand the fundamental evolutions, whether they are political, economical, social, technological, of our modern societies. And therefore, we must be prepared to boost them at the benefit of the collectivities. Professional associations such as UIC must choose the way of co-construction in order to federate a virtuous circle of progress, choose the way of expertise in order to be a force of new proposals, choose the way of openness in order to foster imagination and creativity. It is this simple, basic philosophy which has prompted us, to propose to our World Railway community, represented by UIC, to create a new World Digital Platform or community. It is indeed obvious that the major transformation of this 21st century for either industrial or service-oriented companies will derive from the new information technologies. Within a context facing a total drift and shift of its traditional balance, whether demographic, climatic, and we are in the week of climate change negotiations, political or technical, these new technologies can create a new dynamism. And this, thanks to open and immediate access to information, thanks to the interconnected management of data, thanks to a new integration between software and hardware. This digital revolution is already a reality on the move. It is, at the same time, impacting changes on 3 levels: cultural, procedural, and technological. For he or she who can understand it and grasp it in time might be already late. It will open new horizons through new paradigms. Open data, open source, open knowledge, open innovation. So I'm happy that Yves Tirode, who is the Chief Digital Officer of SNCF, but also a well-known personality in the information technology world, has accepted, after a call for candidates, to lead this new UIC digital community. Yves, I will leave the floor to you to explain a little bit the ideas that we discussed for the past weeks and months to prepare this conference and kick off a revolution together. Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Jean-Pierre. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm really honored and very pleased to be with you today, especially to kick off this new digital community of the UIC. I think that this is a strategic topic for the next years, as it will deeply reshape our industry. Before we start, I would like to thank the already digital core team, who will be highly involved in this project. Thank you to Shi Tanyum from CARS, from China. Thank you from Mohamed Kli from ONCF from Morocco, from Andy Doherty from Network Rail from the UK, from Rizbetov Kairat from KTZ from Kazakhstan, Francisco Cardoso dos Reis from IP from Portugal, and Joaquim Guerca CP from Portugal. As you see, we already have a lot of people involved in this community, which is absolutely great. I would like also to thank the different speakers who have accepted to share with us their very valuable insights. Specifically, Brogan Bam Brogan for Hyperloop, and also Ludovic Lemoine, who's here, the CEO of Sigfox. I see my role as a community manager. And the teamwork spirit will be key for us. But let's start right now. Oh, thank you. Good, thank you. Going digital is a real opportunity for our industry. Digital is not about only about tablets and phone. It's not only about innovation, as a lot of people think it is. It is much more than that. I think that this is a real opportunity to enhance our industry. What is digital about? I believe that it is a sum of 4 dimensions: usage, technology, business model, and also all based on new methods and mindset. Why is digital so important? Because it also impacts, it has a big impact both the current way of doing and operating our business, but also develop new business models by leveraging our assets and resources. Where can digital be relevant? Digital impacts the entire value chain. It could be the customer value chain, as you can see it on the slide, but it also impacts the operational value chain. Both are representing huge opportunities. So what is digital about? For our industry, we can provide we can group digital technologies in 7 categories. All these categories are linked to each other. If I quickly name them, you have, of course, everything relating to connectivity. The second one is everything related to Internet of Things. The third one is V1 related to big data. The fourth one is everything related to platforms, because in the digital world, everything is platform-based. The fifth one is what we call Industry 4.0. The sixth one is autonomous driving, not only for cars. And the seventh one is something absolutely key, and we share that with all the colleagues, which is all about cyber security. All these technologies are already used in multiple industries. We are not talking about gadgets or gimmicks. We are not speaking about the future. This is now. Why is digital becoming a hot topic now? According to me, for 3 main reasons. The first reason is that digital is already here. All employees and customers are already using digital in their daily life. Tablets, smartphones, internet, sensors at home. It is the first time in history that our employees are more advanced than their company. Second reason, costs are reducing. Very fast because competition is fierce between multiple suppliers, and the demand is here. And the third reason, maybe the first reason, is that technology is becoming very, very easy to use. Let's now share with you what is your view regarding digital. We have conducted a survey during the last month, and I let the floor to Thierry. Thierry is the CFO of the UIC, and he will present the result of a survey conducted during the 2 last months. Thank you, Thierry.
Thank you very much, Yves. Good afternoon, everybody. Then I'm going to present you this survey. And the purpose of this survey was to collect the vision of UIC member about digital world and, of course, their needs. We have sent an online form with 4 themes about digital issues and 16 questions. And we have 5 key outcomes based on the feedbacks. First outcome, innovation booster. Digital is an innovation booster. Is perceived as a way to innovate, to enhance CRM, e-ticketing, onboard internet, and cost management, and create new habits pattern for staff and for business customers. And you can see in the 4 higher answers, more than 50%, we have 3 innovation, a way of innovating, new habits for customers, and opening up potential new markets. And was, I don't know if it's innovation, a way of reducing costs, but it's necessary for everybody now. The second outcome, digital transformation, internal organization. And the question was, do you offer your users internet access? And yes in station, 40%. Yes on board train, 30%. Then the most of the company are conscious about the digital impact and the mutation that these technologies have created in our consumer habits. The second question was the organization of the company. Do you have a digital chief officer? Yes, only 40% of the companies. Because, of course, we have asked all the companies. You have big companies and small companies. And generally, big companies have digital officer, but not all small companies. Third outcome, smartphone apps and social media are 2 main appropriated developed digital supports. The question was, have you developed any application for smartphone or tablets for in-house use? Yes, 64%, and it's a really good scoring. And does your company have its own social media accounts, Twitter, Google, or something like that? Yes, 82%. Fourth outcome, the digital is more than communication tool, as explained already, Yves. The question was, can digital technology help optimize train path management? Yes, 90%. And do you have a centralized traffic control system? Yes, about 70%. Then the digital technologies are identified as contributing to the new generation of research and development applied to railway area. It's not only a communication tool. Outcome 5, the most relevant project themes. What digital initiatives should the railways develop in the short to mid-term? And you can see in the 5 higher answers, more than 60%, you have mobile application, e-ticketing, Internet of Things, multimodal, and one a little different, digital security. The conclusion of this survey. Unmet needs and resources. 44% of the companies still don't have experienced the digital tools development such as apps. 1 out of 2 companies don't yet use any reliability equipment or maintenance optimization system. And we have a big margin of progress. Near 2 out of 3 companies do have an internal digital chief officer position. The digital skills uncovered internally need to use expert consultant outside of the company. And last conclusion, a collaborative digital platform for sharing ideas and prototyping would address this unmet need. We hope so. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Thierry, for the result of the survey. Extremely interesting. Of course, you have identified a few projects. This project will be, of course, considered as our priority project because we will work on the base on the feedback of the UIC members. And great job. Thank you very much. Now, I would like now to introduce you, Mundir Rashidi. Mundir is head of the BCG, the Bolton Consulting Group's Operations Center. Mundir is a worldwide expert in operation management. He has extensive experience on issues related to change management and the definition of digital roadmaps. So, Mundir, I have one question for you. What are the major benchmarks and trends for our industry, our mobility industry? Welcome, Mundir.
Thank you, Yves, and good afternoon to everyone. Very glad to be here with you and to share indeed some benchmarks. So let me use, remember, Yves presented the 7 categories of technologies related to digital. So let me share with you some examples related to each one of these technologies. So
Sorry. You need technology.
Yeah. Technology, yes. So the first one is related to connectivity. Any survey we do in all the continents, all customers and travelers, they mention that the number one request for them, the number one need is Wi-Fi connectivity, connection. And the first gap between this need and the implementation of Wi-Fi, of equipment, is this Wi-Fi connection. So there is a huge opportunity here for utilization of digital. And this is a great example. And when we look to other industries, when you look to buses industry, it is already starting to be widespread, even for low-cost buses. When you look to airplanes, is it already also very widespread? It can be paid or it can be for free, but it is there. When you look to rails, it's still very limited equipment when we look to different continents. So this is one first opportunity, connectivity in digital. The second thing is Internet of Things. Is internet, is connectivity, and things, to connect all the things. Why things? Because it can be very wide. All what yesterday could not be connected, because we have this connectivity, we can use any signal sent by anything and link them and make it meaningful data. When you look here at an example, managed recent one by London Underground, using different equipments, like for temperatures, vibration, system, safety systems, and link them. You can generate alerts, but intelligent alerts depending on the need of each shift manager, of each area of the London Underground, or it can be even of different line based on the needs. Also, this is enabling to connect, helping to connect systems that could not be connected yesterday. And this is something very important. So it's enabling the translation of systems, making them talk kind of common language. It's also, what is very important, simplifying also the work. It's more and more as it is becoming automatic and giving signals, reducing the administrative work, or what we can call the non-added value work, and generating, therefore, much more value. So imagine all the technicians, instead of doing administrative work, they are doing really repair work, for example. And last but not least, because you have these signals and systems, it allows your employees to go to the areas where something needs to be done, not just based on prediction or forecast because we guess there will be preventive maintenance, but it's more becoming towards predictive maintenance based on real things and also based on real data. So, Internet of Things, you have it on your pockets. As Yves and Mr. Lubino was mentioning before, this is not tomorrow. It's already today. And look, this is in the iPhone. You have all these sensors. It's already there. And as Yves was mentioning, this is something, it's the first time in the history of technologies where our employees are using things that we are not necessarily using in our companies. But also what is interesting is to know is that the cost is reducing very fast. This is why we are talking also about this, because the return on investment is very fast. And the cost continue to be reduced. Now, we have the connectivity, we have the Internet of Things, but then we have a lot of data, and we can see also to the past, and we can predict things. And here, two examples. First one, capacity utilization related prediction, using prediction of different information and databases, like holidays, the weather, the product launches, the customer knowledge. And also another example, but better than words, I would like to show you a video of one of the existing tools today.
In today's fast-paced world, rail supply chains have grown increasingly complex and interdependent, creating fragmented visibility and multiple versions of the truth. Shipper Connect provides a suite of products that offer a complete solution for shipper management. A cloud-based solution, it is used by shippers, yard operators, and car owners to provide users with asset, inventory, and shipment execution and planning solutions to manage their rail supply chain. Shipper Connect provides a single source of truth, one unified portal that can be used across the entire corporation. Shipper Connect allows you to keep track of shipments, inventory, and rail cars across multiple sites, automate and standardize transload and asset management within multiple yards, streamlining billing, administration, and more, allowing you to reduce cost and increase productivity. Supply chain visibility can be challenging. Losing track of cars and inventory can cause delays and negatively impact the bottom line. Rail Track and Trace is all about visibility, offering a real-time look into rail assets to facilitate planning and production schedules to automate rail operations and enhance supply chain communications and transport. Rail Track and Trace can aggregate over 90 million car location messages per year, reducing delays, improving railcar processing, and simplifying rail planning and execution. Many rail shippers use a manual process to manage railcar order and release, causing them to get charged for demurrage without any data oversight. Shipper Connect Demurrage Management monitors, captures, and aggregates switch events, giving shippers a holistic view of demurrage, storage, and detention records. Demurrage Management cuts down on manual processes and increases productivity. Increased demurrage billing accuracy can account for up to a 25% cost reduction. Managing a yard can be fraught with congestion and confusion. Shipper Connect Yard gives managers control with inbound and outbound railcar inventory tools that integrate into AEI readers, ERP, and TMS systems. A web portal shows a full graphical view of the yard and can even handle multiple yards. Greater inbound and outbound railcar inventory visibility maximizes throughput and productivity and reduces the risk of delay, loss, or contamination. Loading and unloading of cargo from one mode to another manually often results in cross-contamination of products and confusion. Transload Management provides a single source of product in transit information across one or more facilities in real time, automating workflow in order to fulfill customer orders quickly and accurately without cross-contamination. Learn more about the ways Rail Connect 360.
So this is, it shows you what you can do with big data. Of course, this helps big improvements of productivity. The estimations are, by using these systems, is 15 to 20% by fully deploying them. And not deploying only the system and the tool, because what is important is not the tool, is to change the process of operating. But when we change the process of operating, leveraging this tool and adapting them to your own specificities, we estimate in the next 10 years to 15 to 20% in operations in your sector. So this is very important. But more when you can gain. Imagine all the value you can bring to your customers by giving them new traceability, new visibility on new services that you can deliver to them. So all this data, you have them. Again, it's like the sensors. It's not something that will come tomorrow. You have already this data. So these tools are leveraging this data in a very flexible and easier way. Fourth technology, digital. As you have seen in the video, you can have a lot of data, but you need your people to use them. So having the tablets. For example, here in this example, you can see some tablets. Imagine your technician having the last drawing with the last updates directly, again, having it directly on his tablet. The fifth technology is Industry 4.0, meaning when you have technological center, when you have an area, when you're locally having work on the field, there are different technologies that are available. And again, those are not the future. Those are already used in many sectors. One of them is automotive, and I would like to show you one video related to augmented reality, and many industrials are applying them to maintenance already.
Release 2 screws.
Next step.
Remove intake duct.
So you can imagine all the impact related to this on training time, because you don't anymore need to train your operator here on all types of cars, because the glass is helping him to know what he has to do. Second thing, in terms of quality, because it's helping the operator not to forget anything. Third thing is also adjusting the information based on the last adjustment, and not on the past information. So there are huge impacts on the training time, on the quality, on the administrative work that can be applied to any type or many types of works that are also in your industry. And one of them, the biggest one, is of course related to maintenance. The sixth technology is related to autonomous driving. Of course, you know all about cars. There are also trucks. There are about drones that can be used also to inspections in your field, and some of you are already using. And there is also rail. And this is also a huge opportunity. Of course, this is also an ideal, but between the current state and this ideal, there are different steps that could also be reached and overcome. And last but not least, in terms of technologies, all these technologies are generating a lot of data. Some of them are strategic to you, and of course they need to be protected. So it's very interesting when you start this approach in digital to also start thinking about how to protect these different data. But as you have understood, all these technologies are linked between them, and they create a lot of value. And by developing these technologies, you can improve a lot, and we see it in different sectors, the productivity, the service, the quality. But they can do sometimes even more than that. They can help generate new business models. And you all know Airbnb, Alibaba, Amazon, Facebook, Uber, for example, that is changing in 5 years the complete taxi business worldwide. So using digital, what will be your next business model for the railways? So this will be the future. And finally, just quickly, with our a bit experience, wanted to share with you some key success factors when launching a digital approach. The first one, of course, we are not doing digital to do digital. It's not a fashion. It's to bring an impact, and one of them is to the customer. The second thing is to take a little risk and to test things and to do pilots. And you cannot just be digital. It never happens. We've never seen it in any sector. Some pilots need to be selected, tested, and mistakes can be done. The third one is to have an adapted organization culture. And the digital, you can, often what we see is that in many companies is mobilizing projects, mobilizing transformation for the employees to change also their way of doing. The fourth one is capabilities. You need some dedicated people that can push and train others. And finally, it's very important to not do it alone, but to do it with an ecosystem of technological suppliers, experts that can help you to do the different pilots. So this is what I wanted to share with you. Thanks a lot, and hear you later.
Thank you very much, Mandir. It was extremely clear, as usual. And so I propose now maybe to run into a very concrete project and concrete innovative initiatives. These two very concrete initiatives will, I believe, maybe not completely, but will disrupt the way we think about rail. The first one is about Hyperloop. Sorry. The first one is about Hyperloop. Maybe you heard about Hyperloop. Hyperloop's founder is Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a very well-known serial entrepreneur in the Silicon Valley. He created many companies like XCOM, SpaceX, and Tesla Motors. In August 2013, he released a concept for a new form of transportation called the Hyperloop, an invention which objective is to totally reshape our industry. Amazing. We don't know. But we need to consider it very, very seriously, considering the track record of these guys. Baum Brogan was an early team member of SpaceX. He's also the co-founder of Hyperloop Technologies. Brogan could not be here today, but we made an interview a few days ago, especially for the UIC. Let's listen to him, beginning with a short presentation of Hyperloop.
Hyperloop is real. It's happening now.
There's a chance to really revolutionize something.
To change the world, change the future.
Make the world a better place.
Hyperloop's a fifth mode of transport. We're building a full-length tube between any two destinations, and then we'll send things really, really fast through it.
Hyperloop's going to allow people to travel from Los Angeles to San Francisco in 30 minutes.
Our target pod speed is around 750 miles per hour.
This is a reality.
And it's not in some large timeline.
We build things faster than any other team does in the world.
So we're talking about having full-scale test loops.
The reality is here in downtown Los Angeles.
So during the interview, the first question I asked him was, we've heard about your fabulous project. This is very disruptive. Really, you want to change the overall rail industry. But if you are definitely a game changer, is your project a dream or a reality?
Yes, first of all, I'm very happy to be here, so thank you so much. As you may know, Hyperloop is an idea first proposed by Elon Musk. And what it really is, it's an integrated infrastructure and floating stock transportation system. So we're talking about building a tube between 2 points, and then what we do is we control the environment inside of that tube. And what that really does is that allows us to send packets of goods or people very quickly and very energy efficiently. Also, it starts offering up other opportunities like being weatherproof, like being on demand by not having any direct carbon emissions, and also enables us to start thinking about packetizing how we send people and goods around the world.
My second question was, can you tell us more about yourself and your team background?
Yeah, thank you. I'm an engineer myself. I started out designing cars for Chrysler and went on to become the 23rd employee of SpaceX, where I spent almost 10 years under Elon designing rocket ships and spaceships, and it was really a fantastic experience. So then I went on to co-found this company with Shervin Pishavar, who's the chairman of our board of directors. He's an amazing entrepreneur and venture capitalist. The rest of our board of directors is absolutely fantastic people. It includes the likes of David Sachs, amazing entrepreneur, Joe Messina, amazing entrepreneur and venture capitalist, Peter Diamandis, amazing author, innovator, and entrepreneur, Jim Messina, who's a political advisor to Obama and David Cameron, among many other people, and Rob Lloyd, who is the former #2 at Cisco before he left there to become our CEO. So Rob's on the board of directors. He's also our new CEO, and he has amazing experience building infrastructure around the world to move bits, and now we're just trying to do the similar thing with atoms. On the technical side, we really have an amazing technical team of people from all kinds of amazing industries, PhDs from all the best universities around the world, and really one of the things we focus on is engineers that have experience building things. So we're starting to round out a legal team, and we're looking at starting to build safety and systems teams, but really have a fantastic team started right now at Hyperloop.
The third question I asked him was about the addressable market of Hyperloop and also the business model he's thinking about.
Sure, I think that certainly is going to depend on where we talk about deploying that. There's going to be a lot of different business models in different parts of the world and in different applications. I think in general, when we look at sort of the known demand growth for transportation, I think we can really see a lot of opportunities where current infrastructure, certainly the United States is a great example, where current infrastructure isn't keeping up even with current demand, let alone known growth. So we're looking at a lot of opportunities where we really expect to see demand growth and trying to find a way to integrate in there. And this means absolutely partnering with all the best people around the world. We at Hyperloop Tech are really focused on developing the technology to really prove that this works, and we know that we're doing that. But we're really going to want to partner with all the right other groups surrounding the whole transportation ecosphere, which includes all the geotechnical civil stuff, all the certainly the logistics and operations, where we've got some world-class groups that understand how that works and really enables it going forward. And then beyond known demand growth, we think there's some opportunities for us to change some behaviors as you sort of introduce a technology that allows people to move goods or people very quickly. I think it's going to people will make different decisions when they know this technology is available.
The last question was about the technical issues, and I remember last time I visited him in Los Angeles with some labs and so on, and there was always a question raised by the team regarding the technical maturity of this project. So it was my question.
Sure, Hyperloop is real, without a question. One of the things that's worth noting is we really did a lot of prior art research before we dug into the architecture that we have here, and we didn't start Hyperloop just because Elon said it. We looked at a long history of tube-based transportation ideas going from way back before Goddard in the 1800s, and and even through Swiss Metro recently. And we really like the system architecture that Elon proposed. So starting with that system architecture, we really think we can deliver on these values. I think a lot of what we're doing from an engineering standpoint now is to bring the cost down. We could deploy a Hyperloop system today without question. It would be very expensive. So we're innovating heavily to bring down the CapEx mostly and also the operational. So the team we have now, we're focused in 4 key areas, which is innovating on the tube, the pod, aerodynamics and thermodynamics, the levitation, and the linear electric motor. So tube, pod, aero, and thermo, levitation, and linear electric motor. These 4 areas we are doing deep hardcore engineering. We're building hardware, component level hardware today in each of these areas. And by the end of next year, by the Q4 of 2016, we're going to have a full-scale, full-speed prototype operational. So we're going to have a 3+ kilometer tube that'll be 3.3 meters in diameter, and we're going to be sending a pod over 1,000 kilometers an hour, validating all these systems working together as the first test in a long series of testing and then certification.
As you can imagine, my last question was about, do you want to work with us? And how do you want to work with the legacy rail industry? His answer is?
Yes, we absolutely want to work with the rail industry. You know, the rail industry is doing exactly what we want to do, which is understanding how and where people want to move and enabling it. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. I think, you know, right now we're really focused on developing this technology, but as we move out of the technology and start really thinking about getting into operation, it's really understanding the customers, really from cargo and from a people standpoint, really understanding how they move, where they want to go, and enabling that. And I think when you tap into the worldwide expertise of logistics and operations that the rail industry has, you know, this is a huge set of perfect partners for what we're doing.
Thank you, Bragan. I don't know what will be the future, but I prefer to be part of it. So let's move to the second presentation, which is about the Internet of Things. We speak about connected devices. Please welcome Ludovic Lemoine from Sigfox. Please, just a few words to introduce you, Ludovic. You're the first and the only company providing what we call low-power wide area network for the Internet of Things. And what I can tell you, so you're the CEO and the founder of Sigfox. You are managing a very rare and precious company because you are a unicorn. Yeah. It means that the value of your company is more than $1 billion. So, please tell us more about it.
Yeah, I try to explain, maybe introduce myself. I'm an engineer of software, and I'm involved in machine-to-machine for more than 15 years. And I met a guy called Christophe Fourté, and he told me that he was able to send data with a lot of, at a cheap price, with few energy. And when because I tried to figure out how to provide the connectivity for this billion of devices we will have to connect in the future, because I'm sure that it will be huge. I don't know if it is 10 billion, 100 billions, but I believe that every single thing in the real world will be connected into the virtual world, in the cloud. So this is what the idea we had, and when we started Sigfox, we decided to do something which has never been done before, meaning that back in 2011, we created the company together, Christophe and myself. And at that moment, everybody was looking for how to increase the throughput, the bandwidth to provide connectivity for our mobile. But at that time, we were thinking completely the opposite, how to connect everything that will require something which is completely different. We need to find a way to connect devices that will require very low throughput, but also require very cheap price on low consumption in terms of energy, because most of them will be based on battery. So it was the inception of Sigfox on the specification we have defined together when we started Sigfox. So once, sorry, I had just a small video
Just to introduce Sigfox, just to take longer about what we are doing. So it's just a small video, I promise you.
The Internet of Things is about to take off. It's time to get on board. 500 connected objects in the home by 2022. 1.5 trillion connected devices by 2020. The IoT is a $19 trillion opportunity. The vast majority of those objects will send and receive only small amounts of data, and they'll require batteries that last decades. So, there's a need for an easy-to-install, economical, energy-efficient solution. Sigfox. Sigfox provides the bridge that connects all those things, making the IoT available to everything and everybody. It is out of the box. All you need is a compatible modem in the devices and a subscription to the Sigfox network. With Sigfox, each device can send and receive many small messages every day. Sigfox's wireless technology seamlessly connects devices anywhere, anytime to the company's global network, which delivers long-range communication with very little energy. Sigfox Cloud makes this data readily available for application development. Sigfox is partnering with companies in each country under the Sigfox Network Operator Program to roll out and operate its network worldwide. Sigfox complements 2G, 3G, and 4G systems, or Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, all of which provide high bandwidth connectivity. Sigfox's technology was designed for objects that only have to send small messages. Let's look at a few examples. Sigfox allows billboards to send monitoring status so the company can better manage maintenance. The network is economical and energy efficient, so batteries last a very long time. That's ideal for creating affordable trackers. Monitored parking spaces communicate when they're taken and when they're available. Okay, you might be thinking, what else? Major or small appliances connected to the Sigfox network will be able to send usage data to the manufacturer or a third party. Sigfox brings connectivity to a whole new level. So what will you connect? Sigfox.
So, as was mentioned in that video, you may imagine that you can connect everything. So today, when people hear about IoT, it's more about smart home, sometimes smart city, the wristband, the alarm panel you can have in your home. But for me, this is the small part of the IoT. The main part will come from what you are doing here at the railway company, because it comes from maintenance, Industry 4.0. It's a huge opportunity, but it's not very famous to do press release because it's not very easy to understand for everybody that involved in the industry, having to maintain devices for years. And for me, industry, having a way to be able to monitor every single piece of your rolling stock, or every things that are based in the station, or even for your employees, having something which connect them to your IT system is very important to improve, to reduce your OPEX. But to do that, I think what the expectation I have, and I think what you should have the same, that you need something which is very cheap, meaning few cents in terms of hardware. Today, we are working with silicon vendors. We are able to provide transceivers that are already at around 50 cents. And it will decrease until 20 cents. So meaning that every deaf and dumb devices will be connected with an additional cost of hardware around few tens of cents in the coming years. In terms of subscription, because we are rolling out a network which is not only dedicated to a railways company like yours, but for every kind of usage, the price will be gathered among all the application, among all the verticals. So we'll be able to provide connectivity for tens of cents per year per device. So meaning that at the end of the day, we can include the connectivity for the whole life of the products. This is because we are, for example, to give you an example for fire sensors, we are discussing with a company that usually have a sensor that ring, when there is something wrong or where there is no more battery in it. But today we are able to connect it to your mobile, to you, with only $2 more, meaning that you can buy it and the retails at $2 more than the traditional sensors, because the connectivity will be embedded in it for life, which is what we are aiming to do at Sigfox. We we need to provide this connectivity seamlessly, something which not require peering, because it's quite difficult to peer devices to the network sometimes. Wi-Fi or Bluetooth is not very easy. No SIM card, because the cost also is too high. So this is, for me, the Graal, and we are working on it, because there is something which is very simple, and I think you may use it in the coming years, or maybe months, because we are working on it already, is a small module embedding a motion sensor, a small CPU, on a small transceivers. I think we'll be able to reach the price of $1.5 maximum. This single module will be able to monitor your device every time, triggering some alerts, because regarding the vibration, for example, of the rails or the whatever things in your among your assets, you will be able to know something is going wrong. So maybe you can send an alert, because you know that maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, or 1 month from that moment, you will have problem to face. And also, during the night, it can be an alarm system, because if the system, the asset, don't have to move during the night. If it's moving, that something is wrong, so you can send an alert and having people on the field looking for what is going on. And this is just a single device, very cheap. You can be stick like a chewing gum on every single asset, can monitor it very easily. And this is, for me, the ground of IoT, because it will be a billion of devices, and this will bring a real return of investment for you. Because I think for the moment, when you have a wristband, you use it for 1 month, and sometimes you give it up because you don't have to recharge it, and it's boring, and you don't see a real value behind that. But I think for the maintenance, as soon as we are able, thanks to this kind of network, which is very low consumption, low cost, you can collect everything at very low price. You will reach the target point to make this connectivity available for every device. And I heard from the BCG that big data is also a big issue. Big data is fine, but how I will push all this data among the cloud to be able to develop algorithms that will deliver alarms and predictive maintenance features. This is what we are doing at Sigfox, and we are doing in any verticals. But as I mentioned, for me, industrial vertical is key. Healthcare also. On transportation more globally, even for cars on trucks. And this is also, we can also have some big concern in the security vertical, because today, unfortunately, we had problem to face a few weeks ago in France, and I think we have to think a way to track everything at a very low price. So today, we have at Sigfox trackers that using GPS plus Sigfox at less than $20 that can have 3 years autonomy, or more than that, maybe, depending what you need to do in terms of positioning every week and every days and every hours. It will change the autonomy of the device. But this kind of trackers that are very small, long battery life, and very cheap, can bring a way also for you to have a control overview, a complete overview of your assets. So this is what we are doing, because I don't think I have to speak too long, because I think you have maybe other things to see. But I just want to show up with this single device we have done for exhibition. We deliver for free on our booth in Mobile World Congress or CES this year. This is a small sensor. There is a temperature, there is a motion, noise, and a panic button. So this device is very simple. The price point is around, we are targeting $5. With a battery in it, with free autonomy. And this device is connected everywhere, even in this room. And I can show it, I can show demo, but I think maybe because you are far from the scene, but have a small demo that just represents what we can do with this device. So this is the demo of the device, and if you want, I can show it to you after the presentation. It works.
Welcome to the headquarters of Sigfox in La Beige, near Toulouse. We'd like to talk to you today about a really cool device we call Sensit, developed by a Sigfox partner called Axible Technologies.
A Sensit is basically a device full of sensors. Inside it, you will find some sensors to measure temperature, sound, movement using an accelerometer, and there's also a button. To send the data produced by the sensors on the Sigfox network, we're using the Texas Instrument transceivers, and it relies on battery life. Then there's the Sensit web app on the mobile phone, where you can define the output channels for the data produced by the Sensit, and it can be SMS, Facebook, Twitter, email, and there's also a display mode on the mobile web app.
Sigfox wanted to get Sensit devices to give away at events, but the Sigfox team got hold of their own. So let's have a look at how they use theirs. especially on a Friday.
Small video presenting what we can do with Sigfox, but as a startup, we have seen the startup spirit, but Sigfox, as Yves mentioned, we have raised more than $150 million right now. We're on the way to raise 3 times more in the coming months. And we have rolled out the network in 12 countries already. And in all Western Europe is already covered. And we are on the way to cover the Latin American. We are starting the rollout in the US from east to west. We have covered San Francisco, New York, and Las Vegas because we have the CES soon. And we are also on the way to cover the Middle East of Africa. And also we will announce South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, Japan in the coming months. So we are on the way to have the same network everywhere in the world because for the main manufacturers, the key concern is to have the price of the device at the minimum. So you need to manufacture once and create it everywhere with the same API, the same interface. This is the goal for Sigfox is to connect this billion of devices. And we know that in your industry, for me, it's a key industry for us. The reason why I try to work with the Yves team, and because we have many things to connect outside and inside for the rail stock, and as I mentioned, for indoor for stations. So I think maybe I can see you next year or wherever you want to work with you on different kind of application, relying on maintenance or maybe alerting temperature of the rails and whatever else. This is for me a huge opportunity, and we'll be glad to meet you up whenever you want. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ludovic. Very impressive, and thank you for your time, because I know as a CEO of a startup, you have a lot to do. Each minute is important. I propose now a Q&A session. So I don't know if you have any questions. Everything is completely crystal clear for you. But let's maybe we're really open to answer questions if you have some. No. So I have a micro. I think we already have received some question from the web. So really, so okay. Maybe we can start by. I'm really sorry, I don't see all of them.
Just what? First question.
Really? We can start. Yeah, maybe we can take the first one. Can you stop maybe scrolling the screen? Now there was a question quite interesting, I think, regarding cybersecurity, because it's a thing to digitalize I would say our industry. But if we do that without being very careful about the security, we may face very big troubles. I don't know if you have many. Yes, I have one question over there.
Thank you very much. Antoine Rossi, SNCF. One question to Mr. Lemont regarding the critical aspect of the communications, because for Industry 4.0, we need to have the information passing, and the level of criticality is way more important than a video on YouTube, for instance. And this is a famous debate on web neutrality. How is Sigfox having a solution to that question?
So it's a real good question. I have two ways to answer that question. The first way is we need to adapt the level of security to the price point for the application, meaning that sometimes we don't require, for example, for fire sensors, I don't think that you need a real big level of security to ensure the communication between the fire sensors on your mobile. And we started at Sigfox with that target of a very low price, low level of security, and still a good level, but not as safe for the like for the payment. So this is the best way. When I mentioned 30 cents or 40 cents in terms of hardware, is with a level of security which is pretty good, but not at the right level for do payment, for example. And today we are working with the main company involved, like Gemalto and Ouverture, and we are embedding a secure element into the transceivers to provide the same level of security for mobile payment, which is, for me, a good level to ensure the communication between your assets on your IT system. But it will increase the price maybe of $20 or $30 more, 30 cents, sorry, 30 cents of dollar, because so I think we have a panel between low cost. I will say no. I will not say low level of security, but medium level, on high level, but higher price, because I think you need to pay for the secure element provided by the company like Gemalto or Ouverture. Which is but we are working with them because they will provide the secure element into the device to ensure the security level between device and asset. Once again, is it clear? Is it clear, or does it answer your question perfectly, or yeah? Sorry? This is something else, because I think at Sigfox we have. Our positioning is to be the network provider. I mean, we provide the connection between the device and your IT system. We don't know what kind of data we are transporting. So it's for us, there is an ID, unique ID, and there is a payload managed by the customers. We don't know what there is inside the payload. So for us, there is no real concern of net neutrality, but it's an easy way for us to manage that, but also for you. So you have to manage your own data. So you can encrypt them also. So Sigfox, there is a pretty good level of security natively, but you can also add another level of security, adding your own encryption on the payload.
If I may add something regarding the security, cyber security, I think that we definitely need to consider two different things. There is the current internet, and there will be the new internet, which will be the Internet of Things and the industrial internet. I think the rules that we used to have for the current internet will have to be different for the industrial internet. We need SLAs, service level agreement. We need security features. We need a lot of things that will not be, I would say, available for the current internet, will have to be available for the industrial internet. So I think it will be, I believe it will have to be something very important, and which will have to be done on a worldwide basis for a very simple reason. Hackers and all these guys are not European, are not only European or Chinese or European. They're coming from everywhere. And this is a pure global market. So we need to work all together, because cybersecurity will have to be something that we share altogether if we want to move to digital. If not, we'll not be able to move to digital because it will be too risky. So since we are forced to move to digital for basic reason of decreasing cost and being able to answer correctly our customer needs, we will have to move to cybersecurity very quickly. Maybe I have another question regarding regulation. I think it's an extremely important question. In this digital community, there's something we want to tackle, which is mainly the technical issues raised by the industry. We don't want to enter into regulation things because for one simple thing, like we may have different rules according to different geographies. So if we want to enter that, I think it will be too complex. So we are engineers. We need to clearly focus on technical things. After, the way to implement it locally will have to be done on a geography per geography or country per country basis. So this is the way we propose to work in this digital community of the UIC. I don't know if you have other questions. Maybe we can move to the maybe to the conclusion, Jean-Pierre, or. Anyway, you know, it's really the beginning. It's a kickoff. Huh? It's a kickoff of this digital community. And I would like to talk about the next steps. First of all, I'm convinced that this revolution is at its beginning. I think that this revolution will make each UIC member to rethink fundamentally its go-to-market with new business model to attract new customers and to retain also their existing customers. It's also about productivity. I think that Ludovic has shown it very clearly. And it will have also to provide a better quality of service and a better quality of security. So what I believe is that we need to be, the way we will work is maybe to address this digital transformation with 3 words, which will be share, connect, and open. Share, to share best practices among the rail experts. Second, connect, to connect the world's best digital experts to reinvent the rail. And open, to open ourselves to startups and innovators. As I told you, I consider myself as a community manager. And really, we propose to focus work around specific topic. I don't want to invent any topic. This is something we need to decide all together. We're already starting the discussion today with the core team of a community, of a digital community UIC. So the first ideas raised by, I would say, the team and by the survey is maybe to have a work stream regarding data. So we all know that in the future, our industry will be data-centric. The second topic is about the passenger experience, from the buying process to entertainment in the train. The third one is about connectivity. I think we all have the same issue. Many of the transportation mode will have access to internet. In most of the countries, this is not the case for the train. So for the customers, there's a different experience, which is if I take a bus, I have Wi-Fi during the travel, and when I take a train, this is not the case. There's a gap which is quite dangerous for our industry. The fourth one is about cybersecurity. So I think that when we speak about security, you know, it's my background. You need to consider the security and the cyber security at the beginning of a process, not at the end of a process. It's absolutely key. Don't consider the cyber security as something which will be a problem. Cybersecurity, you need to consider cybersecurity at the beginning of a process to make sure that you will execute your product correctly. IoT and maintenance, so clearly, and when we speak with many, many carriers, and not only in the rail industry, but also in the electricity, all the commodities network has the same issue. So if we want to be able to decrease the cost, we need to have many, many sensors embedded everywhere. And this is the only way to move from maintenance to what we call predictive maintenance. Freight. So maybe you mentioned, you see that Van Bruggen was speaking a lot about freight. He is considering that freight is certainly the first market to address for him. Interesting to consider that. And the other thing is, I think it was not completely clear in his presentation, but when we speak with him, is that he's considering Hyperloop in competition to flight. Interesting. And there was another topic raised by, I would say, the community team, the core team, a few hours ago, which was to speak about what we call BIM. So BIM is this quote coming from this is the building information modeling, which enables to better understand. You need to have a very robust and accurate modeling of your network, of your rolling stock. You need to know very, very concretely what are the different components that you install in various locations. If you don't have any BIM, everything will be very complex, and maybe we need to better understand what is what are our digital assets. So, and thank you for the Chinese team to have proposed this topic. So these are the different topics we want to go in quite deeper. What we will do in the coming month. First of all, we will launch an innovation challenge for each of these topics. And we will start beginning of next year. Again, the beauty of this approach is that we don't want to be European or American-centric. We want to have a worldwide approach. And this worldwide approach is absolutely key. By having a worldwide approach, we'll have the ability to have we'll have volumes. We will be considered very seriously by all the main manufacturers. And by manufacturers, I'm not speaking about the current railways manufacturer. I'm speaking about a lot of new people coming to our industry that we need to listen to. And we need to do, and we need to really to work very closely with our China's friend, because they have big volume. We are really impressed when we speak with them about the volume that they can target. So by being all together, working as one industry, I believe that we can maybe enter a new phase of the railway industry. So, and by the way, so if you want to go to the, if you want to go to the, so we will also quickly open a shared platform, and this shared platform will be available on the uic.org website in the coming days. So, this is really, in a nutshell, what I wanted to tell you. Thank you very much for your attention, and Jean-Pierre, if you have other words to add, thank you very much.
Thank you, Yves. I think we could add a lot to this, because we are really opening an area of creativity. And we feel there is a context, we feel there is a need, and we feel that there is the means to achieve it. Not necessarily as UIC does it with the traditional platforms at the service of a topic or a specific issue, technical issue. Infrastructure, rolling stock, security, signaling, or even safety. Digital is at the service of everything. As you just said, digital is at the beginning of any process today. This is something that we really wish to try to embed into the UIC functioning. This platform is at the service of all the other platforms, is at the service of the members, because we have to put or to input a little bit or a little more of digital in everything we do. If we don't do, we are dead. The others will do it. So this is something that we really have the conscious. And how do we want to do this? We want to do this in this philosophy of sharing, opening, and connecting. Sharing information, this is the basic of any association. We are here to compare what we do, to learn from each other, to open data, to open sources, to open innovation, to open services, as we just had during this launch, where we already saw how we could open a couple of boxes to better share and connect people, connect objects. And we had with Ludovic a fantastic and impressive example. And I'm immediately making the link with what you saw us and the idea of security. You know, in terms of security, unfortunately, we have to now understand that we are not in a safe world because, you know, Big Brother is looking after us and taking care of everything. We are becoming actor and vector of our own security. So we are developing already in UIC a number of apps, applications, where you can actually relay information or be part of a network and so on. What you showed us is the answer. So this is a fantastic and symbolic example where we are not going to work like we do in the traditional industrial sector of railways, as we have done for decades. But we want to open to those who have ideas, to the startups. There was a question there, I'm a startup, how can I connect to you? This is precisely the perfect question, because we have identified 6 areas of concern. 7 areas, yes, of concern, security being the 7th one. But these actually can be transformed in a couple of ideas, of needs expressed through this community platform. This is going to be very simple. I think Olivier done on Facebook or something accessible to everyone, and we will use the Chinese platform that is open to China, so that we really can cover the world immediately with a very good reactivity. And in this respect, when we have identified a number of ideas, we open to startups. We invite Ludovic and all his brothers and sisters to say, are you interested? Do you want to work on this? And this is something that was in one of the bullet points here of next steps, which we want to do. I don't know if we will be successful, but at least we want to try doing it, is open a challenge. We will identify a few ideas, open it on the community web to the startups. Do you want to try? Take up the challenge. And then we see, in 1 year, we will meet again for the 2nd conference of this kind, which will not cover principles, which will cover results, which will cover steps, which will cover new ideas. It will be at the General Assembly of UIC in 2016 in St. Petersburg. We will try to have some kind of incentive, you know, just a pair of gloves to come there in the winter, but something which really makes you be part of our community. Because the idea is not to work with our engineers, it's to work with the brains of the startups, this new generation. This is what they call, I think, crowdsourcing, crowdfunding, crowd whatever. But the idea is not here. The ideas are outside. Okay. So in a way, you know, I will take an example, quite symbolic, or as you know me, a little bit philosophic. But the 19th century saw the steam engine. And railways, somehow, was the cause and the consequence of the Industrial Revolution. 21st century, we have a digital revolution. We have to be part of it. We have to be actor and vector of this at the service of society. This is exactly what we want to do, not only at the service of the members, but at the service of the members who are at the service of society worldwide. This is what is behind these 3 simple words, but these words cover the world: share, open, connect. Now, on les a déposés, hein? It's ours. Okay, don't copy. All right. So this is the new UIC logo, beyond the values of unity, universality, and solidarity. But I think that this is really something that we can work. We can only work together, not in the traditional format of, okay, we meet, we have an idea, we have a project, we have a budget, we try to find a couple of experts, and we have deliverables that we put on the market. No, the other way. We cross the mirror, like Lewis Carroll, and behind the mirror there is you.
If I may add something.
Of course.
Sorry. Of course, this is absolutely key to define the vision. But what is more important is to execute the vision. Thank you.
So the platform will be created first weeks of January. Okay, it will be called UIC Digital Community. Fine. The team is there. Yeah. All right. You forgot one guy in the team because he couldn't be today, but you put it in the 7th items. Is Reinhard Bamberger, who is the president of the Freight Forum, because he wanted to be here. He couldn't today because he himself says freight must not be absent of the digital revolution. Otherwise, everything will be on trucks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. There is, if you wish to have not a digital reception, but a real hard drink and food, a reception, of course, you are all invited to this reception, whether you are a member, a partner, or a friend. Please stay with us. Thank you.